Hey there, boot campers. It's good to see you guys. So it's so good to have you guys on. Thank you for faithfully giving up your time, which is kind of funny because it's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight is time management. One of my biggest Achilles heels. No lip out of you, Harnish. Achilles heels in the business. John says, I don't need to say anything at all. So it's so good to have you guys on. An honor to be able to speak to you. And kind of sad because this marks the end of week 4 and we only have 1 week left of boot camp. And then you guys have finished. You've made it. You did it all on your own. And I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on being almost boot camp survivors. So this is day 20, and the topic for tonight is balance, boundaries, and treating your business as a business. So balance, boundaries, and treating your business as a business. Y'all ready for a little oil adrenaline tonight? If you just popped on and you've never been to a boot camp before, my name is Sarah Harnish, and I'm a platinum leader in Young Living. I'm also the author of the Gameplan book, which is this little bugger right here. It's Gameplan, the complete strategy guide to go from starter kit to silver. Tonight, we're going to hit on one of the most critical aspects of your business. Very, very critical, because you walk away if you feel like you can't juggle this, if it feels like it's too much for you. And the nice thing is that you can determine what too much is. Maybe too much for you is more than 15 minutes a week. That's what you can put in, is 15 minutes a week at this season in your life. If you're consistently putting in 15 minutes a week, I don't think that's the best number to get to silver quickly, but just say that's a magic number for you. Then you set it, you stick with it, you're consistent with it, and the Lord will honor that. Maybe your idea of doing a business is training your brain for an hour a day, whether you're listening to the Gameplan audiobook. Maybe you're training your brain, maybe you're listening to some Danny Johnson training, maybe you're doing some mastermind, Eric Worre, whatever you got in your head. You're teaching a class once a week and you're doing follow-up. And that's what your business looks like. And you're committing, an hour a day to your business or an hour and a half a day. And that's what you can physically handle with what you have on your plate right now. Whatever you do, if you do it consistently, God will bless it. He will grow it. The only people that don't get to diamond are the ones that aren't consistent. They're the ones that walk away. They're the ones that give up and say, this is too much. Well, the reason they say it's too much is because they let other things pile up in front of their day. And then they're cramming to get all the stuff done for their business. So it really comes down to time management and making sure that you're making space for your business in your life. Otherwise, you're going to be slamming trying to get ready for your class that you haven't prepared for, right? Getting those bags ready to hand out to people and trying to get your follow-up done a month after the class and nobody's answering you because you didn't touch base with them. So it's really important that you're setting aside consistent time. If you want to get this tool into more people's hands, share it in your groups, share it on your business pages, share it with your team, put it on your Facebook pages, put it on your personal pages, tag your leaders, invite leaders to the Oil Ability with Sarah Facebook page, because you're going to get updates when we have new releases on stuff. So if you want your leaders to know and you haven't had a chance, maybe they don't see everything that they're being tagged in, just add them to the page and then they're going to get updated as well. So just go to the Oil Ability with Sarah Facebook page when we're done with this, and up in the top you can invite people to the page and that keeps them up. We're almost at the point, almost there right now, where this entire system flips and starts all over again. We're almost there. We only have 5 more boot camps and we're there. So before we get into the training, let me just explain to you what the system looks like. And if you need this repeated to you again, there's a button for it at the very bottom of our Oil Ability team page. If you click on it, it's got our logo. Just click on the logo at the bottom of the page and it'll show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. Gameplan was designed to be repeated over and over and over again. It only works if you duplicate. All right. If you keep all these things that you've learned in your head and you don't share them with your team, you're going to have crazy growth this year in your leadership, but your team is going to stay in a place of fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety. So it's really important that you are duplicating the system again and again and again. It was meant to be shared. All right. It was meant to be shared. So the game plan system, the whole system, has 7 parts. This is the book. This is not where you start though. Where you start with the game plan system is actually the mini. This is the first part right here, the very, very first thing. So 7 steps. And again, these are up on our website. Just scroll all the way to the bottom of the website and you'll see the button there for it. So 7 system. This is what I want you guys to copy. This is the duplicatable part that makes it simple to share. Step 1, give them Game Plan Mini. You're going to give them the mini and you're going to gauge their interest in the business. And now you can get them for $1. So you can hand them out like candy and pick up leaders everywhere you go. Walmart, post office, Old Navy, friends that write you, at your church, small groups, anywhere. You can hand out the mini like candy because it's only $1. All right. But this is the first step, is you give them the mini. Then you touch base with them. Remember, if I will you, if I give you the mini, will you touch base with me in 2 days and tell me what you think of it? Okay, if I will you, use that. All right, use that. So step 1, the mini. Step 2, they come back to you and they say, oh my gosh, I really truly am interested in this. Talk to me. Are they ready for game plan yet? No, they're not ready. You're going to overwhelm them and you're going to lose them as a business builder if you put the game plan book in their hands. That's not time for that yet. So step 2 is in your book, in the appendix, all right, all the way in the back of the appendix, there is a 3-page teacher training, which we're going to go through next week. A 3-page teacher training takes 30 minutes max to do with them. You're going to go through it and it helps them get over some of their initial fears of doing their first class. It just explains to them the perks of the business, why they want to be doing it, and all the little isms, the who, what, when, where, why, how of the business. So I gave you the script for the who, what, when, where, why, how of oils. That's the 101 script, which is Appendix A in here. The other script is for training leaders. It's the who, what, when, where, why, how of leadership. So you're going to sit down and just get them over some of their fears of doing the business side. So you do the training with them. You don't give them the book. That's step 2. So step 1, mini. Step 2, you do the training with them from your appendix. Step 3, you walk them through their first class and you stay really close to them. You help them market it, you help them host it, and you help them do follow-up. Okay, you just kind of stay close. Maybe you're in the room with them, maybe you're just coaching them from afar if they're in a different state, but you're there to answer their questions and see them through. And maybe that first class is them sitting on their couch with 3 women, and maybe one's their mom and one's their best friend. That's totally okay. You just want to get them over that fear of the first class. So they come to you and say, you know what, that really wasn't too bad. That wasn't too hard. I can read these 3 pages. Like, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I'm good. I think I got this. So that's step 3. Step 1 is the mini. Step 2 is the teacher training. Step 3 is the 101 class. Step 4, now they're ready. Okay, now they've gone through the first class and they're over that fear of the unknown, of sharing, of reading the script. So step 4, you either give them the game plan book and the workbook. All right, you either give it to them or you encourage them to purchase it. It depends what level you are in your leadership. If you're a gold and a platinum and you can afford to gift a few of these books a month, I gift them to my leaders. Okay, that's where. But we're at a high level of leadership, and we've got a good part of our check we set aside just to be able to grow that part of our business. Remember, I told you the first 6 months of your business, I like you to forget that you even have a check and just put it right back into your business because it's going to grow so much faster if you're investing in you. And one of the ways you can do that is through this system. So step 4, you either get them the book and the workbook or you encourage them to purchase it themselves. All right, if I will you. Step 5, they're ready for boot camp. So now they got the book and the workbook in their hands, and all you do is you give them the link for boot camp with the boot camp videos and say, okay, I'm going to check in with you. Time to go. Here we go. Do I give them the script for their first class? You know, Kristen, if you want to do that, if you're sharing with one leader and you're trained to train 2, go for it. I'll give you permission to do that. All right, go ahead. I'd be all right with that. So step 5 is boot camp. So they get down, they're watching the videos, they're reading the book, they're doing the homework. All right. There's so many ways of doing boot camp. It's ridiculous. I mean, so many different ways. And we've talked about this a few times. It might be leading it in your own teams. It might be putting the links up for each video every single day for your teams, or weekly or bi-weekly on your business pages with your teams and holding them accountable. The boot camp elements are the book, the workbook, and the video. That's how you do boot camp, 25 days. Maybe you do 3 of those days a week. Maybe you do 5 of them a week. Maybe you do 1 a week and you spread it out over 6 months, whatever it looks like for you. Maybe for your team, because you just want to get them ignited, you show them video 1 and 2 and they just read the book and they skip the videos and they do those at their own pace and you give incentives for them finishing it. There's really no wrong way of doing it. Okay. Whatever you feel your group can handle and whatever your leadership style is, that's how you share the boot camp with them. But that's step 5. All right. Step 5 is the boot camp. Then step 6 is train them to train 2, just like you just did. So as soon as they're done, they think of 2 people that they want to train and they start all over again. Game plan mini, teacher training, help them through their first class, book and workbook, boot camp, train 2 to train 2, rinse and repeat. Those are the steps, 1 through 7, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You should be in a perpetual state of training leaders all year round. If you are a distributor and you have 1 person under you, you are in a position of leadership in this business, all right? You're in a position of leadership. So if you train 2 to train 2, you have an organization of 531,000 people in your Royal Crown Diamond in 1 year. 1 year. All right. 1 year. Does it mean that you're rereading the book over and over and over again, or you're watching every video over and over and over again? No. It just means that you have an accountability system in place where you're checking in with them. All right. You've already been through the boot camp. You know the boot camp. You don't need to do it again and again, although I would encourage you to get the Audible version and listen to it after you're done with it. Oh, thank you, Beverly. I appreciate that. Everybody likes my hair tonight. But you understand the 7 steps. So step 1, mini. Step 2, teacher training. Step 3, first class. Step 4, game plan book and workbook. Step 5, boot camp. Step 6, train 2 to train 2. Step 7, rinse and repeat. And then start all over again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Everybody got it? I'm going to move on if you guys have it. I just want you to know because we're getting to the part where we're almost ready for rinse and repeat. And it's time for you guys to go out and train to train to. So you're going to continue pouring into yourself with the Audible version. You're going to train your teams to train to. So as soon as we wrap this up, the ball's in your court. All right. Now it's up to you to continue the training using the system. The system is going to work so much better if you're training your leaders constantly. You should always have leaders in boot camp. Always, 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 always. All right. So tonight, part of your homework is to find 2 people on your team that you want to pour into. It might be somebody who is a silver on your team who's been stuck for a while. It might be somebody who's really excited about the oils and probably would do very well with the business. It doesn't matter. Or maybe you're in upper leadership. Maybe you're a gold or a platinum or a diamond or a silver and you have other silvers on your team and you just want to work with your whole team of 40 silvers and do the boot camp. There's no wrong way of doing this, but I want you to pick at least two people and get them in your head. All right. So that you're ready for next week. So, your role now is going to be an accountability partner and check in. So some of the best things that I've seen out there, this is what I've been watching based on how you guys are using this with your teams right now. I've seen people do Facebook Lives right after these boot camp trainings and they get all their team right on their Facebook Live and they're touching base with their team about the stuff that we cover in these boot camp videos. Some of them get together physically as a team and they're watching the videos together. Some of them are offering incentives in exchange for notes that their leaders took on each of the videos. Some of them are skipping the videos for a time because they're overwhelmed by it, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And they're just doing the book and the workbook, and they're offering incentives to their team for just the book and the workbook. I told you on our own team, we do 3 videos a week. So that's how I'm using it in my team. It's spread out over 3 months, and every 3 months I start all over again. And I give gifts to my team for finishing the boot camp, for getting it done. They get presents in the mail from me. 25 days of boot camp does not need to be 25 literal days. Now, you guys are ninja warriors, and you did do it in 25 days, but you don't need to set the bar that high for your team. The biggest thing is just do it as you can, get the information in their head. As soon as my leaders finish boot camp, I gift them the audiobook. So that's my gift to them is the audiobook so they can continue to train their brain while they're driving, all right, or doing dishes. I want this training in their mind all the time to erase all of their fears. So Gameplan Mini, Teacher Training 101, Gameplan Book and Workbook, Boot Camp, Train 2 to Train 2, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I want to tell you too, in the back of the Gameplan book, let me put down here. Here it is. The back of the game plan book has a certificate for them finishing it. Have you guys seen that? To the very, very back. We put that in there because it's part of the Train 2 to Train 2 system. So as soon as they finish, have them bring their game plan book to you and sign it as their leadership. Say, listen, you did it. You completed it. I'm so proud of you. You can even photocopy it out of the book. And a matter of fact, I think we'll put this up on the website so you guys have a nice color version of it as well. And you can print it off and then sign it and give it to your leaders saying, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations for finishing the boot camp. That's a huge, huge accomplishment. So let's see. So that's how our team uses boot camp. Let me tell you about the results from boot camp and where this goes. All right, where this goes if you keep doing this again and again and again and rinsing and repeat. All right. We were up, I told you, we were up 30,000 OGV the first month that we did it, which was in July, by the way, which is one of the slowest months of the year in the summer. We were up 30,000. We completely defied July. Right now, we're up 100,000 since we started the boot camp cycles last July. So last July, we were at 130,000 when we first started it, and we'd been there for like 8 months. We've been stuck at 130. This month, we're closing out at 230. So in 6 months of doing boot camp and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat, our platinum team is up to 230,000 OGV, and we are coming in very strong and solid for a diamond ship in February. And I don't think that would have happened had we not had the boot camp cycle going again and again and again and again, over and over and over and over again. Okay, so that's where this goes if you keep rinsing and repeating and keep rinsing and repeating and make sure you're checking in with your leaders. It's your time to lead, guys. I led this one. You got to lead the rest of them, all right? That's the power of duplication and of education paired perfectly together. Duplication is in your court. Education was in mine. All right, so I put the education together for you. Duplication falls on your shoulders. So use the system. Use the accountability worksheet in the appendix of the game plan book that we talked about because it's going to keep your team on track. And here's the thing. If you fall off the horse, which will happen, it's happened to me. All right, if you fall off the horse, just get back on. Just get back on. You're never late. You can't mess this up. The only people that don't get to diamond are the ones that quit. Okay, so wherever you are, if you haven't done it in a couple weeks, it's all right. Just pop back on and pick up wherever you left off. If you completely forgotten everything, just start with video 1 and do it all over again, all right? There's no wrong way. All right, just use your gifts and talents, your pace, your abilities, and do it in the way that you want to do it. I've generated tools and education for you. You take it and you meld it to what's the best way for you and for your team. You know your team so much better than I do, so I can't lead your team. You know your team, all right? But what I can do is put tools in your hands so it's easier for you to be able to do that. So this is the weekend that you need to be ordering the books for your 2 members to make sure that you have them ready to start boot camp in a week. This is the weekend you need to be marketing it on your teams and getting your leaders to be going to Amazon and getting their books. If they're going to be starting when this boot camp ends, this is the week you need to be doing that. Otherwise, you're going to have a big lapse in time and you're not going to see the OGV growth that you really want to see. So be prepared, stay ahead of the game, and order everything now so that you're ready when boot camp ends and you don't have a 1 or 2 week lag and lose everybody's fire. You want to keep it going right away. So, let's see here. Always be looking ahead at the next round. Know where you're going and know your game plan. The topic tonight, balance, boundaries, and then treating your business as a business. So the oil of the night, I actually have 6 oils tonight. One of them, I think one of my teenagers walked off with, so I don't have the bottle to show you. But one of my favorites is Oola Balance. I love Oola Balance. Oola Grow is my favorite of the 2, but I'm really drawn to Oola Grow. But Oola Balance I use for balance. I also like Vetiver. This one right here for balance is wonderful. This has a balancing effect on the system when you apply it to the brain stem, right in the back of your neck. Frankincense, also another really, really good one for balancing right here. Frankincense helps balance your electrical field. So does Valor. Both of these are really, really good balancing oils. Valor 1 and Valor 2. Yes, you did just see an original Valor. I might have a stash of them. It's my number 1 oil. Valor 2 are good choices. Another good choice is Awaken. Very, very good choice for balancing your business. Mister, believe it or not, very good for balancing. Mister is not just a guy oil. Very, very good oil for balancing. Palo Santo. Palo Santo. Amazing oil for balance. And Ylang. Ylang is a wonderful, wonderful oil for balance. So Oola Balance, Vetiver, Awaken, Palo Santo, Ylang, Valor 1 or 2, and Mister are the ones that I would recommend for balancing your business. Smell them all, see which one your body wants, and that's the one that I would start with. So this chapter, I admit that I wrote this for myself. Yeah, every leader has an Achilles heel, and y'all, we wrote 3 books in a month, so you know that my Achilles heel is balance, for sure. Mine is time management. When I was in kindergarten, my report card came back every 8 weeks with the little box checked, fails to use time wisely, and since kindergarten, I've had issues with that. So I would tell my leaders, anything you want, anything you need, I'll bend over backwards to make it happen for you, to make sure you got it. I would fill up my calendar to the brim, and then I would be spending another night away from the littlest harnesses in my family. So what happened when I retired? Everybody's like, oh, wait, you know what? When you retire, then you've got all this time and it'll be easy for you to be able to run your business because you don't have to work 40 hours a week at your job. Yeah. If you don't have poor time, if you have poor time management before you retire, you're going to have poor time management after you retire. All right. So you gotta learn the skills to be able to balance your clock, and whether you have a job in that or not doesn't mean that you have more time. It comes down to your skills. So I wanted time in my day, that time that I was giving up by not anchoring news, to have purpose. I wanted to wake up every day and do devotions with my husband. I wanted to go on runs with my teenagers. I wanted to get an early start, maybe 7 a.m. on my homeschool day, and have all my homeschool stuff done by 1 o'clock in the afternoon so that I could do my Young Living business from 1 until 4 every single afternoon. Let me tell you what actually happened. I recognized the issue pretty swiftly. So what actually happened was the first 3 days I just slept because I was so tired. Then I realized how behind I was. So I'd focus on one thing, like cleaning my house, or I'd focus on school or trying to get the kids caught up from school. And I found that I got to the end of every day and I didn't have any time for my Young Living business, like none. And it was because I wasn't paying attention to how I was running my day. I was not being faithful with the time that the Lord had given me. You know, I recognized the issue pretty swiftly. I mean, within a few months after I had retired, but not before losing a wonderful personal assistant who just said, you know what, I can't work with you. I'm sorry, but you're a tornado and you're driving me crazy and I can't handle it. So she left because I did not order my days correctly. I lost somebody who was a tremendous value to my business. So let me put some tools in your hands that will be able to help you with this. The first thing that I do when I really stink at something is I train my brain. So I go find somebody who's really good at it, and then I copy what they do. I read the resources that are out there, and I learn from those people that are very, very good at it. So I've learned that from radio, you're a public figure. So I've had my face on a lot of billboards and I get a lot of messages from people from being a news anchor. And I've been famous for about 18 years now. So I'm used to that level of fame. And with fame comes a lot of criticism. You get a lot of attacks, a lot of nasty messages. They say for every one person that writes you a nasty message, there were 100 people out there thinking the same thing. So I was like, thanks, radio training. I appreciate that because I needed to magnify every bit of negativity by 100 that comes into my inbox. But I've realized from 18 years of getting pounded to the ground by doing radio, that word isn't right. That period shouldn't have been here. I didn't like your inflection. You didn't pronounce this person's name right. How dare you take this stance on an issue? You're not being a balanced reporter. You gave this side of the story, but not this side. How come you didn't spend 3 minutes on this topic when you only had a 40-second newscast? I mean, we just get beat down when you're on the air, constantly beat down. And the one thing that I've learned from criticism is there's one of two things that you can do when that happens to you. You can take it, you can absorb it, and you can let it knock you flat out to the floor, okay, and not pick yourself up and be completely just messed up in the head and walk away and give up. Or you can take it, look at the little nuggets of truth that are inside it. Not always is all of it true, but maybe there's little pieces of truth in there. Take the little pieces of truth that apply to you and learn from it. Exactly, Laura. Learn from the little things that are coming at you that maybe you can improve on. And so I've taken that concept from radio and just applied it into my Young Living business because as a leader, you're going to get punched in the face a bit. You know, you're going to get some really hard days with distributors. You're going to have some hard days with people not liking some things that happen. Oh, my oil leaked in my box, or I didn't like the way customer service handled X, Y, or Z, or a leader that comes to you says, yeah, I'm totally ready, and 3 months go by and they've done nothing. You're going to have that happen all the time. And then you're going to get criticized on your own leadership style. There's going to be people that don't connect with you. There's going to be people that don't like the things that you post or don't think that you're saying things that are appropriate or whatever. You're going to get shredded as a leader. And the best thing I can tell you is take that little nugget that they give you, find the bit of truth in it, and then grow from that bit of truth. So let me give you a few tools to try to help you, because here's the thing, Satan wants you down, guys. He wants you down. And if people criticize you and that takes you down, then you're not out there doing what you were called and created to do, which is freeing people, training them how to take care of their bodies, how to live a chemical-free lifestyle, and be broken from financial burden. That's what you're called to do with this business. And if you are down for the count because of somebody's nasty email message, then Satan got the victory, all right? And it's Satan 1, you 0. So don't give him the victory. Don't give it to him. He wants you down. He wants you flat out. He doesn't want you responding with positivity and with joy. He doesn't want you in a place where you're working. He wants you completely down for the count. So don't give him the victory. All right. It's not his. It's not his. It's your victory. It's God's victory. And he's working through you. All right. He's working through you. So let me give you a few tips and tricks on what I use, because I'm constantly pushing myself back to the place where I'm paying attention to this. This is an area where I go off the road and then I get back on, and I go off the road and I get back on. All right. I choose to fix it and not let it take me down, because Satan is not getting a victory over my business, and he's not getting a victory in my life in anyway. He is the loser and we are the winners. All right. We are the winners because we have the hope of the Holy Spirit living right within us. All right. When Christ died on the cross, we got that. We got that. So we win in the end of the book. We win at the end of the story. So we don't need to live in a place of defeat. All right. You just don't need to. If you're surrounded by people with negativity, man, just unfriend them and move on. Kick the dust off your feet. Surround yourself with positive people. When criticism does come your way, take the nugget of truth, grow from it, and move on. Don't let it just lay you flat down on the floor. All right. So here's some ways that I train my brain. Danny Johnson, you've heard me talk about her several times. DannyJohnson.com has got a wonderful series called Time Secrets. It's about $300 to order it. It's a whole bunch of CDs and DVDs. It's really good. I mean, really, really good. She's an emerald personality. She's a green personality. So she is very methodical and very meticulous about how she handles her clock. And since she's built a $25 million network marketing business twice, I think she knows what she's doing and what she's talking about. So I would recommend her Time Secrets series. If this is an area where you really need to train your brain and you're not doing very good at sticking to the clock and you don't feel like you're honoring the Lord with your time, go get that series and just work on it for a little bit. That would be a good thing to put your hour of brain training into. Lisa TerKeurst, if you just want 2 books, let me put 2 books in your head. I read these first before Danny's stuff came. Lisa TerKeurst, The Best Yes. I love that book. If you look at my copy, it's like scribbled all over and highlighted. She just speaks to my heart in really deep places. Just really good about faithfulness and God honoring and multiplying your time when you're faithful, and being a faithful servant. I think is part of being the Proverbs 31 woman. Lisa TerKeurst. I'm going to throw a lot of things at you guys, and I promise when I'm done with this boot camp, I'll put links to all of that up. Just give me about 10 minutes after this ends, and I'll put links to all of them so you know where to find them, okay? So Lisa TerKeurst, The Best Yes, is wonderful. Also, Dr. Henry Cloud and John Townsend's Boundaries book is also really, really, really good. So I would recommend that one too. So Danny Johnson's Time Secrets, Lisa TerKeurst's Best Yes, and then Dr. Henry Cloud and John Townsend's Boundaries book are the three that I use to train my brain in this area. So do I have it all down? If you ask my husband, he'd be in glottal laughter right now. Say, ha, 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 ha. My wife doesn't understand what a clock means, right? No way. No, I don't have it down, and I'm constantly retraining myself, so I'm totally comfortable sharing my weaknesses with you guys. So how I trained my brain. Danny Johnson's Time Secrets is fantastic. Lisa TerKeurst's Best Yes and Dr. Henry Cloud and John Townsend's Boundaries are absolutely fantastic. So do I have it down? Oh boy, no, I don't have it down, guys. I'm not even close to getting all of this yet, but there's a pause to my step. I'll run things by my emerald husband who does know how to say no to stuff. I'm picking what I'm doing. I'm not going to be on the road for weeks and weeks and weeks. I can't be. I can't be. I got to give my body time to rest and regroup. And that's part of learning this, because the red personality in me is just like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go. But then I'm tired, right? And I don't believe that honors the Lord. Exactly. And I don't believe that I'm able to take the time I need with my children, who've been very patient the last 4 weeks, giving up their evenings so that I take over the whole living room, and giving up their family time so that we could do this training. So I'm trying to honor them. So I recognize the issue pretty swiftly that time management was a major problem for me, but not before losing a wonderful personal assistant. I let my full-time job go, but I never made room for my business. So let me give you a few ideas and some things that you can do that I've learned from reading all of these books and watching the Time Secret series, just a few tools. So I train my brain when I'm stuck at something, and then I deal with criticism well. Just choose to fix things and not let them take you down. I told you how I train my brain. Now, I had an opportunity to teach 16 classes a month. That's about how many speaking engagements I was getting before the book. Now, since the book, it's like way higher than 16 a month. Then I just say no to them, because my priority right now, I'm a mom of 5 kids. My priority is being with my babies. And so I'll pop online and do stuff because we can have 100,000 people online, rather than putting them in a car, driving across the country, being gone for a week, getting behind in homeschooling. My number one responsibility is to take care of my children. So that's where my priorities are right now. And I can talk in this format. And then when the Lord knocks things off my plate, and they're not in school and we got the summer break, then I can do a little bit more, right, with my time. But it's all about keeping your priorities in order, doing them in the right order. So even though I had an opportunity to teach 16 classes a month, I said no. And what that means is I'm going to be paying off our debt a little bit more slowly. But look at how the Lord has blessed that choice. The Lord has said, hey, because you're choosing to draw this boundary line, I'm going to bless this project that you're working on. And He'll do the same thing for you. I'm going to bless your work of your hands. I'm going to bless your time and bless your business because you're being faithful in these other areas and these other places of your life. So what are some changes that I made in my business? In my personal business, I hired a woman to help me with mailings and follow-up. I actually now have 3 assistants that I use. One's a virtual office assistant. One is my personal assistant who just helps me personally. She'll come to my house, organize my closet, go through my store, make sure our inventory is not getting low on books, make sure my speaking schedule is good, But I also hired another woman to come in who just does mailings for me, who helps me with follow-up with my team, who sends recognition out to my leaders. And I'm paying her $10 or $12 an hour. It's blessing her socks off just by getting that extra little bit of income into her home. She comes in when her kids are in school. They have extra income. It's not stressful to her. She can come grab a box and take it home and work on it when her kids are in bed at night. It blesses their family. We're pouring into a low-income family. And then it's blessing me by taking something off of my plate. Right? Yep, that's another thing. Laura, she says, I plan to hire my teenager. I have 5 slave laborers. I'm totally kidding. They're not slaves. They do get paid. They do get paid. And they love it. They're saving like crazy for school and college and things that they love and their heart's desires. But another thing I've done is I've hired my kids. I allow my children to help me with DVD burning, with stocking the store, with loading the van, with speaking engagements. When I go out, if you ever see me at a speaking engagement, walk around the room because my entire family's in the room. Everybody's there. I've got Benjamin running stations. Gracie's running my store. Isaiah's running all my tech and my media and my sound and my lights and my microphones. Isaiah, my 15-year-old, has done 260 classes with me around the entire country. Like he's been everywhere with me. So I just love that because it's training them entrepreneurship and stewardship. They're making money on the side. They're learning about running a family business, and I don't have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to be able to have employees. They're excited because it's like 4 times what their chore money is, right? So they're really psyched. So another thing is I made it a priority to pray with my kids each night and to pray as a family over our business and over time management. How much do I pay my kids? It depends on their age. If they're at the age where they would make minimum wage in our state, then I'll pay them at like $1 over minimum wage. If they're littles, like my little guy is 9, 10 years old, with him I pay him like $3 an hour, $3 or $4 an hour. It depends what they're doing too. If they're burning DVDs for me, they literally can sit there and read and chit chat and talk to their friends while the DVDs are burning, and then they just put labels on them and get the next ones burning. So for those jobs, I'll pay a little bit less. Whereas if they're at an event and they're on call and they're talking with people, I might pay them a little bit more than that. So they love it. It's mom time. We hang out in the car. I'll have to post some videos of us driving to classes because we got the music cranked up. My kids are dancing in the vehicle. We're singing. We're praying together. We're praising him. We're having deep faith talks and stuff. And it's just this bonding time with me and my kids. And I love it. I love what the business has done for our family. I really, truly do. Now, we have a lot more freedom than most people do because we're homeschoolers. So I can get a little ahead on school and go away for a 3 or 4 day trip if I need to, or catch up the week after, and we're all right. I don't have to like pull them out of school to do that. So I made sure that I was getting 8 hours of sleep a night. That was one of the things that was not negotiable for me when I came off my shift, because with 18 years of anchoring, sometimes I would get 3 or 4 hours of sleep a night because I had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to anchor, and I had teenagers that don't go to bed at 7 o'clock at night. So they'd come in at 11 and they'd be banging cabinets and grabbing milk out of the fridge, and it's loud, and it would wake me up, and I couldn't get enough rest for my job. So I was committed to making sure I was taking care of my body so that I wasn't so beat down, so that I had a spigot to pour into other people. And I think that's part of time management also. That's why I'm not going to be doing 5 videos a week when February comes. I'm going to dial it back a lot. I may pop on with these cute little 2-minute things and little nuggets and stuff like that, but I'm not going to be doing a boot camp because it's all online. You guys already have it. You don't need 2 copies. So you can get on and just train your leaders with the work that we've already done. To save on burning DVDs, we're putting most of my lectures and content online. So you guys may not know this, but I shot a chemical-free home class right before we started the boot camp. So if you go on this page, on the videos section of this page, and you just scroll past the boot camp, go right before video 1, the first video right before that is a chemical-free home class. So you can watch it, share it with your teams. It's awesome. I have an entire online class on Vimeo, a 101 that you can time release. That's in little 3-minute sections. That's awesome. I can get you guys the link for that as well. So I put a lot of my content, yeah, it's there right now. I put a lot of my content up online because then I don't have to do it again. I don't have to do it again and again and again. So it saves me time. All right. I wrote the book. This is one of my biggest time savers in my business right here. This little bugger right here is one of my biggest time savers, because what I found was I was answering the same leaders' questions over and over and over and over again. If I put it in a book, I can just share it with people, right? I can say, hey, page 110, page 70, page 52, it's right there. I already explained it all for you. And it's a huge time saver for me because I don't have to constantly answer the same questions again and again and again and again. I got all of my leaders on a training on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. My team has been very, very amazing because they forfeited their trainings to do this boot camp. So as soon as we wrap up boot camp, I go back to them and doing our Tuesday night training. So they're all in the boot camp with us, but they forfeited their time with us together so that I was able to do this. So Tuesdays at 9 p.m., I speak to my team all at once every single Tuesday night. We've been doing it for 2 years instead of doing it individually. So as we close in on Diamond, I still work with my personally enrolled and I work with my silvers and up, but I let them lead their own teams. I don't step on their leadership. I'm pouring into them, they propagate it among their team. So that's a way that I've cut back a little bit, not feeling like I have to be all things to all people, because I learned how to delegate stuff and hand it to my leaders who are amazing leaders and very, very gifted. I got a planner and I got organized. That's another thing that I did. iBloom is fantastic. They have a great planner. We're also working on a planner that is specific to Gameplan. So it's going to have your accountability worksheets in it every single month. It's going to have places where you can write your essential rewards order in. It's going to have all of your goals. It's going to have your leaders that you're talking with. It's specifically for Gameplan. Your training to train to, and all of that will be in there. And my team has lovingly nicknamed it the Game Planner. Game and get it, like game plan, game planner. They think that's really funny. So that'll be released probably sometime this summer. Maybe we'll have it by convention. We're working on it. But the biggest thing is in your planner, write it down. What is most important? What's the most important thing? Every class that you guys are teaching is time away from your spouse and it's time away from your kids. It takes time away from your family. So you have to consider every single thing that you put in that planner. Is that the right thing? Is it on the right leg? Is it with a leader that needs encouragement, or is it with a really strong leader that could do it on their own? Is that the best use of your time, or can you bump it 1 month? Can you train them online? My team in Chicago really wanted me to come out and train them. I couldn't get out there till March because I'm committed to taking February as a month of rest. And I didn't want to wait until March because the leader of that team is going to hit silver this month. And I knew that she really wanted a little fire on her team. So what did I do? After one of these boot camps, I got online on a Facebook Live and I worked with that entire team online. So instead of putting all my kids in the car and driving 1,500 miles round trip to Chicago to pour into them face to face, I'll do that in March in the time I've committed to them. But in the interim, to help that leader hit silver, I went online. And I worked with them online. So you guys see how you can make these little tiny changes in your schedules to be more faithful to the time that the Lord has given you. So the questions I ask, am I working with the right leg? Is it with a leader that needs encouragement, or is it a strong leader that can do it on their own? Is this the best use of my time, or could I bump this by a month? Look at the layout of your month. And if your month is too crazy, then wait. Or maybe you need to look at the things you're committed to and say, you know what, this really does need to go above that other thing. I'm going to have to be careful and make sure that I'm bumping things around a little because this is very important. We implement a lot of these things at home too. We do 15-minute power cleans with all the kids. We get them in the house and we just clean the common areas of the house. One of my favorite tools for that is a system called Managers of Their Chores. Managers of Their Chores is at Titus2.com, I think is the name of it. I'll put the link up for you, Titus 2 Ministries. I've been using that for years with my kids to help them have a system for making sure that they're keeping their areas of the house clean so it's not so hard on me. I save my deep cleans for Saturdays, and that's really, really hard for me. I am a Ruby. I am a red personality, and I love organization, and I love cleanliness, and I hate clutter, and I hate little tiny things. My favorite things are things that die, that have a consumableness to them so that I don't have the clutter in my house. I love fresh flowers. I love things that I can clean out and wipe down. I don't like little collectibles. I don't collect them because to me it's clutter. Like I can't handle it. Everything's organized in bins. It's all labeled. It's all, there's nothing under the couch. Like it's just very clean. So for me to walk away from my home and just say, okay, that's not something I can do right now. Right now, the most important thing is boot camp. And when boot camp ends, the most important thing is rest. And the most important thing after that is making sure that our homeschool schedule is up. And the most important thing is a date with my husband. You order these things in your life. And so I've had to let a lot of the cleaning go, even though it drives me crazy. Last night, you know what I did for fun? I went and emptied my daughter's room, vacuumed every little nook and corner and cranny, bought her a new bedspread for her bed, and set up her room while she was at a basketball game, and she came home and got to see her new bed and bedspread. I get such a kick out of throwing everything away and just organizing it all. I love it. Like, I absolutely love a completely crisp, clean house. I love it. But I realized that I can only deep clean on Saturdays. That's the only time that I have time to deep clean, because during the week, I have a system of taking care of my body, of making sure that I'm doing homeschool with the kids, of working with my leaders in the afternoons. I run kids to sports and stuff in the late afternoons and evenings. I might be training my team at night. I'm getting enough rest. And during the week, there isn't enough time other than those quick power cleans. So I clean on the weekend. That's when I can come. Oh yes, I will come organized. I love throwing things away. It's actually probably very bad. The things that I throw away probably have a lot of meaning to them. So I'm really OCD about a clean home, but with 4 sons, that's rough. So I have to let perfection go if I choose to homeschool and run a home-based business. If I'm doing those things, I'm not going to be able to have the house that I want every minute of every day. So another thing I do is I don't go on as many rabbit trails as I used to for school. There are some seasons where I have to save art and learning how to play the recorder and, going and eating with chopsticks because we're studying China. I have to save that stuff for the summer because during the week, we can only get through math, English, history, and science. And that's it. That's what I got time for. So we don't have time for rabbit trails. That stuff's got to happen on my kids' time if it's something they really want to pursue, or in the summer when we're not doing our regular curriculum because it's too much on our plate. So I have to draw lines in the sand of what I allow. The other thing that I can tell you too that helps me with time management is I implemented Jay Carter's principle of 3. You guys may not have heard of Jay Carter or Mary Star Carter. They're my diamond upline. They've poured very heavily into me and into our team, and I love them so deeply. They're very treasured friends of ours. They're the ones that introduced us to Danny Johnson. But he told me, because he sees my red personality, and he said, Sarah, you're going to be adrenally toast by the time you're 45 if you can't learn to manage your clock better. He said, so what I do is I get up every morning and I make a list of 7 things. He said, usually 4 of them are personal things. So it might be going on a run. Or it might be, deep cleaning a closet or something that I really want to do for a personal. But 3 things every day are for my business. So I make a list of those 3 business things, and those things I do before I do anything else. Now, in my case, my number 1 priority is homeschooling. He doesn't homeschool his children. His wife does it. So he can do that. He can get up and just start with his 3 things. I can't. I have to homeschool first because that's above my business. So I get up and I do my homeschooling. Then when that clock hits and it's 1 o'clock and it's time for me to start my business, then I go through that list of 3 right from the top down. Okay, right from the top down. It's something that he trained me to do. So the list of 3, make sure those things get done before anything else. Don't get distracted by Facebook. Don't get distracted by things that you want to be doing, filling in all your dreams and goals and visions and stuff on your planner. Maybe the most important thing is to respond to a leader who wrote you 2 days ago, more than your planner. You got to put your planner aside and save that for a day when your leader's not waiting on you. So you make your list of your top 3 things that are the most important, and you do those before you do anything else. That's really helped me a lot because it helps me not feel so overwhelmed that I only have 3 things that I have to work on every single day. All right, so now I've talked to the crowd that overschedules. That's what we spend a lot of our time on tonight, but there is another crowd out there. All right, now I want to speak to the crowd, and you know who you are, the crowd that doesn't start. All right, the crowd that doesn't begin. You see the task of the business, you get overwhelmed, you see other leaders rising from afar, knowing that it could have been you if you had the commitment to begin. Can you just hear my heart just for a second? Please just listen to me and hear me out for just one moment, okay? This is the one thing that you should be getting into your schedule. Look at all of the other distractions in your life, and I want you to see them for what they are. They take time away from something that the Lord has placed right in front of you that will free you from the other things that are taking your time. This is your way out. Young living is your way out. You're on the island. God sent the boat. You're going to get on the boat or you're not going to get on the boat. I'm telling you to get on the boat. Okay. This is the thing that is going to save you from the other things that are taking all of your time. This will buy you time with your family. This is going to buy you financial freedom. This will buy you the dreams and the wishes of your heart. Okay. All those things that are in the back of your mind that you think just can't happen because you're just never going to get to it. God's saying yes. He's saying yes to your dreams. He's saying yes to the desires of your heart. He's telling you it's okay. It's all right. You've been waiting for a sign and a signal. This is your sign. You have boot camp. You have a legitimate system to follow. Okay. It's in front of you. Maybe your goal is to support a missionary. Maybe it's to go on missions trips. Maybe it's to take care of a family member who has nothing. Maybe it's visiting a friend really far away because you can. Maybe it's anonymously writing a ridiculous check to somebody in need. Maybe it's going on your first family vacation and bonding with your kids late into the night, playing with a deck of cards by the beach. Who knows what it is? Making 10,000 memories, having that bonding time with your spouse, giving your body time to rest and just having an entire week to do broth and salt baths and just everything you need to just catch up. Okay. Those desires that are in your heart, there's a reason they're there. It's not just because you put them there and you're like, I'm just setting unattainable goals. It's because God wants you to pursue those things. He's the one that put them in your heart. All right. You're supposed to be chasing that stuff. So it's okay. It's okay, but you have to have a plan to be able to get there. That's what Gameplan is for. It's to give you a strategy to get there. So if you're the person that's been sitting on your Young Living business for years and years and years, who's been sitting there at Star or sitting there at Senior Star or sitting there with a distributorship and you're not moving, start moving, okay? Put this in your schedule and make it happen. Don't say, oh, yeah, well, that person, that rock star can do it, but I can't. I've already told you about the anatomy of our team, guys. Most of our leaders are shy, soft-spoken, yellow or green personalities. Most yellow personalities. All right, of my 14 silvers we have on our team right now, we have another 40 that are about to go silver in the next 6 months. 95% of them are yellow personalities with a couple of greens in there, and I have 2 red blues. 2. So it's not the in-your-face people. It's the people that are consistent, that are making time for it, that are being faithful with their clock, that are doing it again and again and again. Maybe you're not out there teaching 50-person classes. That's not what it takes to get to diamond. I hope that I've conveyed that to you, that you can get to diamond by teaching to 3 people on your couch every week, right? You guys understand that, right? It doesn't take these mega huge amphitheater classes to pull that off. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to have ridiculous friend circles. You don't have to have a ton of money. You just have to be faithful with your clock. You have to be consistent. You have to be tenacious. When you get distracted, you've got to go right back to it again. Don't give up. So if you're the person out there who's been sitting and holding rank for eons and eons and eons and eons, do you know that you have just as much of a chance of hitting diamond as somebody who's platinum right now? All you got to do is commit to it. Just do it. Okay, just do it. You haven't done anything wrong, and you can start from anywhere. You can start from anywhere, all right? You can start from sitting at Senior Star for 5 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. Nobody is going to fault you for how long it takes you to get to diamond. Who the heck cares how long it takes you to get to diamond? If you got the name Diamond next to your name, it doesn't matter how long it took you to get there, right? It doesn't matter. Just be consistent with your clock. Do not get overwhelmed before you start. Do it in the way that you can do it. And if the way you can do it is grabbing the script and talking to one person, then grab the script and talk to one person. But for the love of all that's out there, man, just do it. Okay, just do it. You're not going to rank if you're not getting the 101 script in front of people's faces. That's the only way to rank in Young Living, is to share the oils. There is no secret magic pill to do this. Every single diamond out there, all of them, interview all 220 of them. I've interviewed about a third of them already. Every single one of them tells me the exact same thing. I taught classes. That's it. So share the 101 lecture online. Get the 101 script in front of people on your couch. Teach to a room of 50 people in a church gym. It doesn't matter how you do it. All right? No way is wrong. Just do it. All right? Just do it. If you're doing it 4 times a month, your chances of hitting silver within 6 months are exponentially high. Exponentially high. You have no excuses. You have been well trained, okay? You know exactly what you need to be doing. So if you're not out there doing it, the only person holding you back is you. It's you, okay? It's you. So stop sitting there and start doing it, all right? Start getting out there. Get the script in front of people. As many people as you possibly can with whatever your gift set is. Stop judging yourself and telling yourself that you're not as good as A or B or X or Y or Z, or you're not as fast as this person. Stop rating your beginning against other people's middles. Stop looking around you. Focus on you and get out there and share the script. You even have the words to do it. They're typed out for you in the back of the book. Just grab it and share it. Okay? Grab it and share it. Stop sitting on your business. God wants to bless you. He wants to bless you. Okay? Silver income, $3,000 a month, guys. $3,000 a month. Every single person on this boot camp should be a silver by the end of the year. If you are not there, you have no reason to not be at silver by the end of the year. I want every single one of the 7,000 people watching these videos to write me and say, Sarah, I hit silver June 10th. I hit silver April 14th. I hit silver this date. Then next year, y'all better be going for gold. And then y'all better be going for platinum, because we want to pack the stage full of diamonds, okay? You have no excuses. Just get the script in front of people's faces. That's it. That's it. Whatever your gifts and talents are, do it. Stop sitting on your business. Stop it. Get out there and share the oils, all right? Get out there and share the oils. So this is the thing that gets you out. Look at the other distractions in your life, kick them to the curb, and focus, all right? Focus. It's time for you to focus. You guys are diamond risings. All of you guys are diamond risings. Through hard work, through consistency, Young Living will take you there. It is a tried and true formula. It works, okay? It It works. Michael, I don't want to hear that when you make silver, that's all the income you need. That's baloney. What that is you're not giving God permission to run your business. Because if you give him permission to run your business, he's going to run you all the way to Royal Crown Diamond because you're a good steward and he wants people that are good stewards so that they can pour that income into all the people around them. This income is not just for you. It's for everybody, all right? The income is for your neighbor that needs help. It's for your friend that needs hope, okay? Game Plan Mini, your game plan, all right? You're supposed to be out there helping the widows and the sick and the poor. So stop stopping yourself at silver. Go beyond silver. You're supposed to have bigger dreams than that, all right? Yes, I love Darlene. We are Young Living. We are Young Living. You are supposed to be living. What is Young Living's creed? Abundance, wellness, and purpose, right? Abundance does not mean right here. Abundance means here. It means so that you can pour into the people around you. Stop thinking about your box. When you think about your box, you're living in the land of poverty. God has got more than poverty over you. All right? He's got more than that for you. He has bigger dreams. Will you trust his dreams? Trust him. All right? Let him lead your business. Let him run with your business because he wants more than silver for you guys. Silver this year. All right, fair enough. But keep going. Keep going. You are supposed to be pouring into the people around you. Can't do that if you're living here. All right, so live here. Abundance. Abundance. Dream big dreams. Yeah, allow God to dream with you. Can I share my big dreams with you? These are dreams that I didn't even know that I had. I didn't even know that they were my dreams until the Lord showed me that they were my dreams. If you guys have your book, you can open to page 176 and look in it. You see that? Those are my kiddos. That's my family. It's my husband, Gabriel, Isaiah, Gracie, Benjamin, and Noah. That's a harnish herd. That's me and my sweetheart, my husband. This picture right here, really special to me. That picture, which is on page 177, was taken in the medieval torture chamber in Doge's Palace in Venice, Italy. All right, Venice, Italy. I want you to remember the woman at the beginning of this story, okay, me, who is sleeping in subsidized housing, going without food 3 or 4 days at a time, digging for a quarter to get a loaf of bread, to cut it into quarters to put it in my kid's stomach, that had to choose between food or gas for my car. Now I want you to picture me in Venice, Italy with my oldest 3 kids. Because that's what happened to me after I started my Young Living business. Young Living paid to take me and my 3 children to Venice and to Croatia and to Greece. We kayaked over an active volcano in Santorini, Greece. We went to Ephesus, Turkey. I stood in the Holy Land. I got to stand in the stadium that Paul stood at and stand where he was speaking, where he was arrested in the New Testament. I stood in that stadium with my children, okay? And then we went and we saw the body of Mark in Venice, the guy that wrote the book of Mark in the Bible. I got to see his coffin. I get to see Mark, who wrote the Gospel of Mark that I have memorized, all right? I got to see where he was laid. I got to see the body of John. I got to see Mary's house, Mary, the mother of Jesus's house. With my children, we walked through her home. We walked through her house, okay? I get to share these memories with my children who I've homeschooled for 14 years and never gone on a single family vacation. We went to the Middle East and to the Mediterranean after not taking a single family vacation. We've never been on a family vacation, never been on a cruise, never traveled internationally, never flown in our life. We did all 4 things in 2 weeks because of Young Living, and they paid for every single penny of it. And we have used it since then. Since we came back, we were just talking about Rome and Greece just yesterday in our curriculum. And I said, hey guys, remember when we were in Greece? And the kids are like, oh yeah, I remember that. Guys, I would never have had that opportunity had it not been for committing time to this business and fighting for this business and treating this business as a business. This poor homeschooling mom of 5 is not poor anymore. And I get to take my children on adventures with me and show them the world. And we get to travel together. I'm taking my 16-year-old right after he launches his business. Literally the day he launches his Young Living business, we're flying to Dallas, Texas and going to Danny Johnson together. I couldn't have done that without Young Living. It wouldn't have been possible. In a month and a half, I'm taking 2 of my children on the cruise with me, and we're going to go to Belize and the Honduras, and they're going to bond with all of the other Young Living kids on that boat and make more and more friends. I never could have done that without this business. Never could have done it without this business. All right? That's why you got to fight for this, because it's bigger than you. It's bigger than your dreams. It's bigger than your goals. It's bigger than the box that you're putting God into. It's bigger than those things. Poor no more. You're right. You're right. Poverty over. I mean it when I tell you this, guys. I know where this goes. You know where this goes. poverty does not have to be your story. You just got to fight for it. You got to make time for it. We've made 1,000 memories together because of Young Living. It's amazing. So let me give you a couple of really important principles here that are going to rock your world. If you apply these principles, it's really going to help you focus as you're considering which things you should be putting your time into. These things are going to blow your mind. If you have not read this chapter yet, I want you to meditate on these principles at the end of this chapter because they are absolutely critical to running your business. Absolutely critical. Okay, critical. The concept of tithe. As Christians, we understand that if we give the Lord our first fruits, if we give 10%, that somehow he's going to stretch that 90% that we have left, and all of a sudden it's going to be as if we have 100%. Right? It's going to be as if we have 100%. Do you know that God wants you to tithe your time also? That your life should be in this order: God, spouse, children, job, and nothing else. Okay? God, spouse, children, job, in that order and no other order. No other order. If it's out of order, the Lord is not going to trust you with more. He's not going to. You don't have your priorities in check, all right? So what happens when you tithe? The Lord stretches it. And it seems to be that it's the same thing that happens when you are tithing your time to him also. It is lost on us that God will do this with our clock too. He will bless the work of our hands. If we are faithful with the small things, he will multiply our time. He will multiply it. All right. So I swear to you, I've seen this happen. I think that I don't have time for something. I make time for the Lord. I make time for my husband. I make time for my children. I get time, consistent time for my business in. And all of a sudden, those things I didn't have time for, like deep cleaning Gracie's bedroom last night, somehow they happen because God stretches that clock if we're faithful with it. Okay, if we're faithful with it, he will stretch it. Be faithful with the small things, including your clock. Tithe your time to him. Give the Lord your first fruits. Tithe your time. Keep your priorities in order. Lord and Savior, spouse, children, Young Living, in that order and not out of that order, all right? And God will bless it. He'll bless it. And he will grow it. He will grow the things that you are touching. Okay, so how do you start? How do you begin? I never tell you what to fix without giving you some tools and telling you how to do it. So number one, make time every day for your business. Maybe it's an hour. Maybe this is your time right now for your business is boot camp. And next Friday when boot camp ends, you are going to start putting your time into different things that you felt convicted on. Just stick with it. When boot camp's over, continue to commit that time. I can't tell you what adventures you're going to go on with Young Living. It depends on your commitment and what you're putting into it. But if you treat this business as a business, I don't have one person on my team of 3,800 that has regretted that choice. Not one. Not one. I can go through every single leader and ask them, do you regret committing time to your Young Living business? And nobody tells me that they have regretted it, okay? It is the better choice. For John and I, it is the best decision financially we have ever made in our lives, ever. My entire life has been turned upside down by walking away from my 40-hour work week. It's completely different. It doesn't look the same that it did 2 years ago. It's totally different from 10 years ago, but it's dramatically different from even 2 years ago, okay? So how do you get there? It starts with a why. Just a why. Remember those vision boards that we made at the very beginning of boot camp that I want you looking at every single day? Set a goal. Commit to it. Commit to your business. Carve out time. It's hard. It's really hard at first. I think the hardest time of your business is the very beginning, right? When you're starting to push that snowball up the hill. It's hard because you have to balance your business alongside your job or alongside the other things that you're doing in your life. But as you rank up, you can knock more things off of your plate, just like the woman that I hired for $50 a week to come and do mailings for me, okay? Or the woman that I hired to help me with some of my emails and my content online, right? You can drop more and more things off your plate. Maybe you hire somebody at $25 a week to come mop your floors for you and clean your oven because floors, showers, and ovens, you just don't get to them, right? It's okay. You'll be able to knock more things off of your plate as you rank up because you have more expendable income to do that with. So here's what I can tell you. Set time for 4 classes a month. Katie, the best thing you can do is set time for 4 classes a month. Senior Star will not be the hardest part if you're setting time for 4 classes a month. Darlene, who's on here with us, she's a diamond, right? Every minute's been worth it. It's freedom. Set time for 4 classes a month. Set aside an hour to practice a lecture, to respond to messages and do follow-up. Talk to your leaders. Train to train to. You have to keep the cycle going. Commit that time with discipline every single day. And then see what the Lord does with your faithfulness. See what he does. See how he multiplies that. Many of us aren't seeing our business growing because everything else is so much more important than our business, right? Can I get an amen on that? Everything is more important than your business. Would you get paid at your regular job if you worked 2 hours a week? Or if you worked 1 hour a week? Or if you worked 2 hours a month? You wouldn't get a paycheck. You wouldn't, all right? So be faithful. If you're faithful, then you're going to stand back and you're going to watch your business grow. And then I want you to hold on, okay? Because it's totally, completely going to surprise you. Your life is not going to look the same. It's just not. So your homework for week 20, you guys have survived the accountability chapter here, all right? Your homework is to read chapter 20 in the book. And then I want you to open up the chapter 20 workbook page, all right? If you have the workbook in front of you, I want you to turn to page 72. I had it open just a second ago and I just closed it on myself. Page 72 in the workbook. Here it is. So I have you budgeting out your day. I want you to plot it out, print it off, and put it on a wall where you're going to hold yourself accountable. You guys see the workbook right there? I literally break it down hour by hour for you in your day where you can say, okay, this is the time that I've got to do my 3 things for the business. This is the time that I've got to pour into my children. This is the time that I'm making dinner. This is the time that I'm working out and taking care of my body. But this is my committed time every single day to my business. And maybe right now I can afford 15 minutes this week. But in 2 weeks, when this drops off my plate with faithfulness, consistency, and tenacity, I can bump that to 30 minutes a day. And I'm going to put 30 minutes a day on my business. And that's what it's going to look like inside the workbook. If you don't have the workbook, you should grab the workbook, guys, because it tailors the game plan book to your business. So it's going to take all these principles and it's going to guide you specifically, tailor cut for you, for your business, to give you clear cut action plans and scripts that are specifically for you with your warm market, your scripts, your speech, your day, your time, your planning, your why. All of that is in the workbook. All right, in the workbook. Steve and Becky says that they work 12 hours a day. All right, well then train your brain while you're driving. All right, train your brain while you're driving. Get the stuff on audio and make sure that you're doing it while you're driving. Take calls on Bluetooth and talk to your leaders while you're traveling back and forth to work. I've had to do that. All right, if I can make time for this with my 4 a.m. job, okay, on 3 hours of sleep a night, working 40 to 60 hours a week, homeschooling 5 children, 7 hours a day with a special needs son in a rural area with 0 money in my bank account, you guys can do it. Working 12 hours a day is an excuse. Don't beat me up for saying it, but it's an excuse, guys. If you want this bad enough, you will find a way. There are husband and wife teams that are getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning before their shift starts and doing these boot camps together. Okay, I've had people writing me, telling me that. So maybe you can only do it on the weekend when you're not working your 12-hour shift. Maybe you can only do it when you've got your lunch break. Maybe you can only do it when you're driving. If you want this, you will fight for it. You will fight for it. Alice, I agree with you. She says, never work on a Sunday, rest. Do you know that I've taught 264 classes since I started my Young Living business, and we have not once taught on a Sunday? Not one time. I've had some very, very lucrative speaking engagements offered to me on Sundays that I've turned down because we do not teach on Sabbath. We rest. If you write me on Sunday, you're not going to see a response. I don't respond to people on Sundays. So I totally get it. We've protected that. I know everybody is not committed to that and they've got different convictions with their businesses, and that's all right. It's okay for us. We don't do that. But Steve, if you're working 5 days a week at 12 hours a day, then maybe Saturday's your day for your business. All right. Maybe that's your time that you set aside. So your homework is week 20, read the chapter on it. And then the week 20 workbook pages as well. Page 72, budget out your day. Health tips while you're pushing it. Ooh, that's a good one. I shared with you guys the book. I don't have it in front of me. I might have to talk to you about that tomorrow because I don't have the book right in front of me. But the book by Stacy Kimbrell is absolutely fantastic for how to take care of your body. The supplements with Young Living, making sure you're getting enough sleep, a 30-minute walk a day. Just that alone is you're going to take your health from here to here just by getting out and walking for a half an hour every day. It's something John and I do every single day. All right. So I want you to budget your day, plot it out, print it off, put it on a wall, and hold yourself accountable. Okay. Hold yourself accountable. Maybe your accountability partner is your spouse. Maybe it's your mom. Maybe it's your best friend. It doesn't matter who it is. All right. But hold yourself accountable. So next week, last 5 days of boot camp, you guys up for it? We're in the home stretch, guys. You guys are almost there. Don't forget to order your books for your leaders so you can start your boot camps right when this one ends. Monday, we're going to talk about how to find leaders. It's one of the number one things I hear. Sarah, I can't find people to do this business. We're going to train that out of you. Tuesday, how to pray over your Young Living business. I'm going to give you very specific tips and tricks on how to specifically pray over your business and some ideas on things you can pray for. On Wednesday, this is probably my favorite chapter in the entire book, the whole book, because this is the area where I see people go right off the path. distractions. Avoiding distractions. My favorite chapter in the book. What are the things that are going to kill your business if you're putting all your time in those places and you are distracted from the things that are actually growing your business? All right. Please do not miss Wednesday. I said, it's my favorite chapter in the book. I really want you there. Thursday, encouragement for the climb. It's a cheat sheet to go from starter kit to silver and some of our leaders' stories. Thursday, I'm going to be popping up some of our silver videos so you can see some of the other stories in their team and know that I'm not the only one that's done this. You guys know it because you've seen the 220 diamonds. They've all done it. You see the hundreds of platinums, the thousands of golds, the thousands and thousands of silvers. So you know other people out there have done this. You just don't think you can do it, but you can. And I'm going to share some of the stories from the silvers on our team so that you see that you can do it too. Friday, we're going to run through the appendixes, which are liquid gold in the book. And then we're going to end the boot camp. And then the ball is in your court. And you have to train to train to. Rinse and repeat. Get the audiobook as soon as everything ends on Friday and continue to train your brain with this information so you can keep it fresh in your mind as you're training your leaders. Give that audiobook as a gift to the people that finish your boot camp. Keep this information in your head and hold your teams accountable. You guys have almost made it. And I am cheering you on from upstate New York. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. I love you guys. Have an awesome, awesome weekend. Thank you for doing boot camp with me. Oils of the day, Mr. and Valor II, Oola Balance, Ylang, Palo Santo, one of my favorites, and Awaken right here, and Vetiver and Frankincense, all of them. Amazing oils for balancing your life. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday.